I don't say that people change, like your boss is going to change when you have this understanding, but these crazy miracle things happen. Like, for instance, my husband, when I change, when I see that he's in his own world and he doesn't need to change, and I see that my relationship is just me living in my thinking about whatever he's doing, sometimes miracles happen and then that person changes. So that has been my experience, you know? Like, as I change, people change. A couple of my clients as well. It seems like their boss changed, or it seems like their relationship with their sister changed as they changed. Just, you're so not needing that person to be different that something, like, sometimes happens. You can't, of course, depend that that's how it's going to be. Like, okay, let me change so that my husband can change. But some incredible stuff happens. I went to New York to do a clinical trial, to New York City. And I remember being really, really upset because my husband was really, really upset. So I live in California, so it's 3,000 miles away. And I remember thinking, I need my husband to support me, or I'm not going to get better. Because everyone says that. You know, every alternative and every traditional thing says you need support, you need the support. So I was consumed by that idea that my husband needs to be a certain way. So I'm in New York City, and I remember almost not being able to breathe because he was really mad at me. I mean, I was breathing, but just feeling so constricted and so upset and so mad at him that he didn't understand that if he's going to be not supportive, I can't get better from cancer. That's what I really, really thought. So I remember talking to the person running the clinical trial and trying to figure out a story to tell to my husband. Check this out. So I wanted a story. I'm in New York, he's in California. I want a story to tell my husband so he could then calm down and I could fix him. So then he could be available to support me. Like, it just seems like, okay, I went there to get that, to come here. It just was this impossible place. And all the while I was feeling terrible. Like, I was taking my husband's thinking about that so personally, because it was so strong in me, this concept that my husband has to, quote, support me. And as I understand that more and more and more, I realize there he is, this beautiful human being supporting me. I have to say that it's always innocent. My own innocent thinking was like trying to fix him to be able to fix me, like this idea that was so strong in me that he needed to be a certain way in order for me to get better. To me, it sounds like totally crazy right now that I would go from New York to California to try and fix him. Like, all that, I remember that whole day being on the phone trying to figure out ways to tell him, oh, it'll get better, don't worry about the house, don't worry about money and all that. I'm so much more out of the loop of what he's saying or thinking in the moment that I can hear something different. So for instance, the other day I asked him, he seemed upset about us selling our RV. And for a minute, I felt personally responsible for his upset. My thinking just went there for a minute. And then I realized, oh, okay, he's whatever he's in. So I just decided out of the blue to call him and say, hey, what's up? You seem upset. And when he told me how he felt about it, and he basically just said, oh, I was just in my thinking at the moment about all I have to do to get the RV ready for sale. When I heard that, I was like, oh, how can I support you in that? when you understand where somebody is, you're like, you show up as a different person. Like, once I understood that about him, I was like, oh, okay. Because everybody at every moment has rose-colored glasses on about whatever is going on in their head at the moment. Even people that do really extremely bad things. If you stepped in a second into their ideas about the way the world works, it would make a little bit more sense to you why they would even think to do a bad thing. So in a way, we can't always see that, but it's almost never personal. He's not even reacting to the human being over there in front of him. He's reacting to his own ideas. And when you see that, it has the potential to change relationships. I give him the space to just do whatever he does. Then those miracles happen, and that person sometimes does change. I wouldn't say that that's the definite result, but it seems to happen an awful lot to me in my world and with my clients. It seems to happen, and you almost don't even know what hit you. You're just like, wait, did they change? Did I change? What happened? And it's nice because, look at it this way. Whether my husband actually changes or not, if I don't need him to support me in this certain way, all of a sudden I'm available to support myself. And as I am available to support myself, so many people around join, and then my eyes see different things, when your eyes kind of get tuned into seeing how much support you have, all of a sudden you're like, things that you didn't see before, opportunities and support and friends and people, there they are, right there. And then you're open.